Good morning, Hoopazins. This is Chance,
And this is Gavin.
and today we are doing a completely non-predictive, 75% non-predictive mock draft of what would be happening if your boys got to have some fun working in an NBA front office. Gavin has won our coin toss, and thus will be taking the odd number picks. Would you like to start us off with what you would do as a Washington front office?
Well, I guess before we can get to the draft, we can talk about the some of the recent trades that happened basically all last night. How about Julius Randle for first for second round pick swap, basically?
It is a much better deal for the Nets than I feel like it is for the Timberwolves at the moment.
Yeah, you get off a lot of money, but it's kind of hard to grade it until you see what they actually do with it, because they were gonna probably be able to retain Io anyway. So I don't imagine that was the pure reasoning for moving off of him.
You justify getting smaller in the West right now. We just saw it hurt OKC. We've seen it hurt a lot of other teams. I don't know why you would get rid of your power forward whenever there's nobody really set to fill those shoes.
Yeah, a whole lot of Terrence Shannon get ready to play J-Mac at the 4. I don't know what they're... Unless there's another move on the table and this cleared up just enough to bring on maybe 15 more million or so. I don't know. I definitely have to look into their actual cap implications from this, but Bulls ran away with Claxton in it for basically nothing as well, it feels like. I think that was really good for them. I think that's where the Nets kind of got screwed.
Bulls were a big winner out of that one. I love Claxton over there.
Yeah, just because how thin and weak the center market is right now, I think they definitely undervalued Claxton, but I guess technically Julius Randle was a return in that trade. He can chuck up shots for your playmaking guards he drafted last year that don't really want to get them up.
I think it's a good move in the new cap to try and be the fourth worst team instead of the second in the league.
Yeah.
And I think Julius Randle can float you probably 8 to 10 more wins.
Yeah.
As in the Brooklyn Nets position. If you're a playoff team, Julius Randle's not returning that value.
Yeah.
But as a bottom feeder, I think that he will be able to absorb a lot of offense for them. Hopefully to find some roles for the younger guys. We'll just have to see. The much more exciting trade, Giannis to Miami.
The saga's finally over after what feels like 3 years straight. I mean, I think both teams really win. I think the Heat will still be able to bring back Norman Powell on a slightly less deal than they already had him. No more Terry Rozier on the books. I think they'll be able to fill that depth around the roster pretty decently. I mean,
it'll be much nicer.
With Norman Powell, the top 8 looks phenomenal. I think you just go get a little bit more shooting around everything, and then
I'm kind of assuming that Wiggins is going to take the player option. I feel like it's a good spot for him. Miami's embraced him, and he's been working his role there completely satisfactorily.
Oh yeah, I think that's a beautiful complimentary wing, to be honest.
It'll just be how much of an MLE demon can Pat Riley be? And he's proven before that he can be one. So,
and they're still under the luxury tax right now on the first. They're like, I think like 20-something million away from the first apron.
Yeah. There's more moves there to come, and not any of them coming tomorrow night or tonight.
Yeah, but it'll make free agency real interesting. I
Yeah,
definitely like the Bucks package they got for it.
I think it is very all-encompassing.
Yeah, they got some future draft picks. I mean, 3 of them. I don't think 13's not too bad to have paired along with 10 in this draft. And then Yakashonis was one of my favorite players last year. You get Ware. Jaime will just be cool. I mean, let's not even forget the Heat can still move the Jovic contract.
Yeah.
And that
it'll just be interesting to see if they want to.
Yeah,
because if not, that gives them just a huge backup forward.
Yeah,
he's
nice
big.
little...
He can play with Bam and Giannis.
I really thought,
or either
especially
one of
when
them.
I saw they were getting Bobby back, I figured he had to be in the trade to make money work. But I guess, yeah, they did. They do have a lot of cap rights to renounce right now.
But yeah, that's the first mention of Bobby too. Yeah. He's probably going to be pretty important for this team.
But it won't be finalized till I think like July 5th, I think it was. And I think there might be some more teams brought into the mix to like reroute Hero. So I'm imagining it's just Detroit's kind of holding off on how they want to play it, because I'm kind of imagining that's still the lined up deal.
I don't know. If I'm Milwaukee, I think I want to take this package in full, in its entirety. And then you're looking at a nice guard room. You've got 4 guys that you feel decent about playing. You got Hero and Yakatonis. They already got Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr., who were both good last year. Makes Kyle Kuzma your backup 4 behind Jaime and Khalil Ware. And then you're chilling. You get to draft some people. You're not going to be the worst team in the league. You might be like the 7th, but with the way the lottery odds are going to fall, that's where you want to be.
Kind of perfect range, yeah.
Your odds are going to be just as good as anybody else's that's not just at the bottom. It kind of makes sense to make these like lateral moves into mediocrity for the first couple years now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with these new lottery rules and obviously the CBAs we already have set up. It's probably a lot more long-term beneficial than just completely blowing it up and existing in mediocrity for 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see any more of these like quick rebuilds like OKC or San Antonio have just pulled off. But Sacramento and Chicago over the past decade would have eaten in the lottery.
Oh, yeah. Instead of the 7th or 8th pick every year.
Teams.
God, they would have had so many. But the most impactful and important trade of yesterday, Aaron Wiggins is headed to my Hawks for just 2 second-round picks.
Gotta clear the cap.
Let us make the play-in and see if he doesn't just put up just a phenomenal game and save basketball again.
It's like 28, 8, and 6, and it's just most beautiful 70% from the field you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
Only 2 pull-up jumpers in the whole game.
It's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be gorgeous.
Just give him and Nikhil the keys to the offense. That's how I feel at this point.
I hope you feel differently after I get this 8th pick going.
Let Aaron Wiggins rock out. I'm excited to see what goes down there. But all right, I guess we can get into it. And I mean, I think it's just a no-brainer, just where the Wizards are and what they need. I know you don't overthink things or draft for fit, but this is also just my best player in the draft currently in terms of as an NBA prospect, and that's DeBonsa going 1. I mean, huge 6'9", athletic shot creator. Definitely think the three-point ball is coming around. I know there's some defensive attention deficiencies, but it's not hard to teach a guy with those physical gifts to make the right rotations.
No, that gets cleaned up once they get in systems all the time.
Yeah, the minute you teach them defensive feel and put them in a very organized situation where he's not the entire team's offense besides an injured Richie Saunders, think he'll definitely have the tools to automatically be an above-average defender.
Also, I completely agree.
Gives them the potential to go get their real guy. And, I mean, you have the infrastructure around him to make his life easier. You just lock down Trae Young for the next upcoming 3 to 4 years. I mean, you think about him besides someone like that, the way he'll be able to run in transition. They still technically have AD there. However much he's going to play, we'll see. But there's still Sarr. You got plenty of shooting around them. There's Trey Johnson, Bub Carrington. He doesn't have to be one of your real wing stoppers. There's Koulibaly there. There's Keyshawn George.
He just has to be fine He has to guard on an island sometimes this year or this upcoming year. And he's already shown he can get to his spots amazingly. So now there's going to be less pressure for those contested jumpers and more room for just like the 2 dribble pull up where he gets open just because he's so fluid.
Oh, yeah, I think he's definitely getting in a beautiful situation there in Washington, which sounds weird to say 3 years ago.
Yeah. Talk about how the draft lottery would have changed everything. Washington would be a completely different team.
Oh, yeah, dude. Even the Jazz would probably be nuts right now.
Hey, they're about to be after they get Darren Peterson with the 2nd pick. They've already shown that they don't really care if you want to play there. They're going to make you like it once you get there. With their pick last year, Ace Bailey didn't want to be there. Neither does Darren Peterson. I don't think he valued that comment too much. He's been pretty adamant that he thinks he's the number 1 guy, and I think that leads into him saying that I would not want to go to Utah. But it just makes too much sense. He can flip that switch between on and off the ball. He's going to be excellent whatever offensive system you run. And I feel like he's the best, like, man guard or man-on-man guarding out of the top 3 guys. He's always locked in pretty much on defense. I just think he's going to be great.
Yeah, I think his dream role definitely is that combo guard. And I mean, we saw the big playmaking jump from Keontae George this past season, so he doesn't have to immediately come in and try to be any sort of an engine. He can really get into what he's comfortable with and then slowly develop with the rest of that team because there's plenty of weapons on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how all the shots, like the spread of shots taken by player. But I think if I'm coming into the season as Will Hardy, you got Lowry and Keontae, and those are probably the only 2 people that I'm prioritizing in the offense over Darren Peterson.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how, with just some time off of basketball, how it kind of helped him in terms of whatever nagging injury he seemed to have been suffering from, because you could see the high and low points athletically throughout the season. I mean, the checking out of games, there were some games that he was sitting out of, and I think people took that and ran with it a little more as he doesn't care about basketball, but also for him to care about being a professional basketball player. He can't destroy his body before he ever gets there.
Nope.
But he looked
it's your job to keep up with that body.
Yeah, he looked just, especially in high school, like prolific. He looked much more explosive, fluid. Just seemed like something was off for most of his season at Kansas, and I think that spurred some people's image of him, but I don't see it at all. I think he's going to be fantastic. I honestly think the top like 8 of this draft are just going to be absolutely
I agree.
insane. It's very deep, but I think that leaves the Grizzlies in such an easy spot. It was, hey, we get one of these top 3, whoever's just left, and you can't be mad at the pick. And obviously, I've got them going Cam Boozer, fill out that front court a little more. Rest in peace to Brandon Clark, but that does leave a hole depth-wise. There's obviously injury concerns with Edey. This allows some small ball moves at the 5 if necessary, but I mean, the kid's just, he's got feel. He knows how to play basketball.
Yeah. We were talking about this last night, too. He's going to fit wherever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
He's going to be able to make it work. And obviously, he doesn't, when Edey's there in a perfect world, he definitely doesn't have to be your real defensive force at all. He can just do what he does, be a help side, just guard the opposing team's second big. That's probably a little less offensively gifted in terms of shot creating in the paint, but he's going to rebound well. He's obviously got a grown man frame. He's already bigger than his dad when he was at his peak.
Yeah. And it's going to be so awesome, too, watching them toggle between, like, the double big lineup. And then if you get a stretch big, like let's say you're playing Cat or Porzingis or something like that, Boucher's probably going to be the one guarding them.
Yeah.
Because as a perimeter oriented, he has all the weight and he has the frame to keep up with that on the perimeter. And then you leave Edey in there off a non-shooter, ideally. But what they get into with Boozer is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some cool lineups that showcase him and Santi in the front court. I think we're on some really interesting on-off numbers with that. But he's just high feel. He's going to be able to do all of the connective playmaking you need. It's going to make people like Jalen Wells, Cedric Coward, their lives easier, depending on what you do with John Morant. He can play with him easily. They'll have some great two-man actions. Or if not, you have your new franchise guy, hopefully. But definitely probably the easiest pick in the draft because you don't have to actually truly make a decision.
No, it falls right to you. I think definitely be looking to trade Ja. The culture soured around him. It doesn't really make sense to hang on to the brand of basketball that he was playing. And now, if they get Boozer, it's just complete supplementary playmaking. Probably go to something more akin to like the Miami system, which they've already been trending to. I can't even remember if Miami or them started it. Just the attacking on the closeout super quick, keeping everybody in rotation. Yeah, I think Booz fits right into that. Now, at 4, I'm also going to make the easy pick. I think it's Caleb Wilson. I have Keaton Wagler as an equally talented prospect, but he does not fit any marker of what the Chicago Bulls have listed in what they're interested in drafting. The big slap motto has been all cycle, and Wilson's just the epitome of it.
Yeah, he really is that personified. And like we were saying last night, this just felt written. Every lottery mock, everything had the Bulls getting 4.
Yeah.
Since they got 4 and before they got picked 4, it seemed like, hey, no matter what, we're trying just to get Caleb Wilson. That seemed like their whole goal. And I mean, I think it's going to be beautiful. Obviously, they're continuously just getting weaker and more lacking in that front court.
Yeah.
He's going to be an insane defensive stopper. We saw some incredible mid-range work from him. And while you don't necessarily want him taking that as a huge part of his shot diet or taking too many shots from that range, it's nice to see he already has that and some of the touch and just ability to correct himself in the air off of tough contest. It was very impressive. He's not just a physical freak. I think he'll be able to extend the range out. Obviously, the shot blocking is going to be insane. He's so good guarding on the perimeter.
Once he has a little bit more of a defined role on defense and set expectations, I feel like he'll clean up that side a lot. I believe in the shot a little bit less. I'll be honest. I think we're probably like 4 years out from a mediocre 3 ball. But that doesn't give me hesitancy at 4. It's the reason I wouldn't take him at 3, but it doesn't give me hesitancy at 4. I just worry a little bit. Giddey, Trey Jones, not like an outstanding shooter, not enough to cover for Josh Giddey being a very mediocre one.
Yeah, not at all.
Your whole kind of team is just average shooters outside of Anthony Simons and Colin Sexton.
Yeah, and then Jalen Smith, but I'm imagining he's going somewhere for a couple of weak picks, just because I think he's some contending team's going to want him as their bench big.
I like him as the bench big, but I also call him a mediocre shooter. Like, he's not the type of 5 that strikes fear in my heart from the top of the key.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely a guy you're willing to let shoot more than more people, but definitely going to see just some really cool basketball, especially in transition. There's going to be lineups where him and Modis are in running the floor and Giddey's just throwing it down to them. Definitely going to see some exciting stuff in Chicago.
The horizontal spacing is not there. The vertical spacing, there in spades.
Oh, yeah. Then at 5, I think another easy pick. The best guy left on the board for me in terms of talent and upside if he gets his physical proponents together. But
trust he will.
Keaton Wagler to the Clippers at 5. I mean, there was the Harden trades, and now you have Garland, who's still on a decent timetable for you to start leaning into this retooling and reset. depending on what you do with Kawhi. Already got rid of Zubac. Definitely in need of some big man play, but you can source that from somewhere. But I mean, he was good on and off ball defender despite some athletic limitations. There were huge showcases of playmaking, huge showcases of tough shot making and scoring. I think he's just going to be a beautiful off guard. You've also got a Benedict Mathurin in there, take some ball pressure and scoring off of him, not have to force him into that role. Like I said, Garland's there, so he does not have to be the primary playmaker at all starting off.
But he's just going to be an amazing secondary playmaker.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have a beautiful role there, I think, to start off. Not too much pressure.
I think Keaton Wagler is one of those guys that the ball gets skipped to the weak side, and you're scared of him on day one. You're worried about like three things on day one whenever that ball gets skipped to the other corner, because he's got probably a 44% open catch and shoot right there from the corner. You're also looking at a lot of drives that are just slinky, is almost the way I would describe it. He gets the Shea comp all the time just because of the smoothness and the angles that he's able to take.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of craft there. He's got really good touch around the rim despite not having that vertical pop. And, I mean, you're about to put him in a top 3 to 4 possible training program in the world in the NBA. I mean,
yeah,
he's going to get a little stronger. He's going to get more athletic. It might take a little time, but he's still 19. Kid's got a great frame on him.
And I think the burst, which is something that we see come in a little bit more often, is going to be a lot more important than the vertical in terms of his play style already. And he was also kind of a late growth spurt kind of guy, so the athleticism should follow.
Definitely so. Who's going to be your pick at 6 here?
I'm also just going to go best player available. I think Brooklyn needs a lot of things, and they have very little direction in terms of what would actually make their team work out. So I'm just going to go Michael Brown. You take the safe frame, lots of insane shooting upside, and he's going to be able to come in and put shots up for your team. Might be a day one starter.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely see it unless there's some crazy Traore jump coming, but I doubt that. No, I don't view Yegor Dimon as your lead guard, but yeah, they definitely just need someone who can come in, get some buckets. I mean, he's still one of the best playmakers in the draft. He's right up there in that top guard with the scoring and playmaking.
He's very talented.
He makes some pretty incredible reads. Wasn't the greatest team surrounding him. It was kind of him and then Ryan Conwell to take some of the pressure off, but
yeah, it was a lot of shot chucking. We'll probably see a decent bit of it again this upcoming season. But as he figures out, take the crazy shots towards the last 6 seconds of the shot clock, and then it becomes a good shot. And you get to have fun with that a few times in the game. And then the rest of it is more of a set roll. You're going to watch Michael Porter Jr. run this pick and roll. If it gets tossed to the top of the key, then you're going to be expected to do something on the swing. I think it's a very smart pick. I like Michael Brown a lot, and I also just far prefer his frame to the other guards that are up in this echelon of talent.
Yeah, definitely so. He was definitely my dream pick to Atlanta at 8. I mean, just a true tough shot maker. Saw it all year. Big performances early on. The 40-plus piece was very impressive, especially for someone his age. There's obviously the issues with the back problems. I mean, we'll see how that works out. He's still young. He's not quite as big as maybe and he's about to team up with, but a Michael Porter Jr., it's not quite as scary when someone's 6'5" as opposed to 6'10", 6'11". But we'll see how that works out with him. But definitely a phenomenally talented player for sure.
Then you get a draft for the pit that is Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't. This is
I'm
hard.
sorry, Kings fans, but
whose career am I ruining here? Yeah. I mean, Could go someone who's gotten some comps to a previous guard they've drafted. And Flemings, you can just go Acuff because so many GMs are so high on him just because of the pure numbers and analytics he put up. I mean, I definitely think this is where they start the rebuild really again.
Yeah.
Try and get off your assets if you can. There's not too much to look forward to there right now. I mean, Keegan Murray has plateaued. Neat Clifford came in at 23. Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell were cool, but you kind of need something that's going to sell tickets, get people in the building, and just have people excited for at least something in the future. And I'm gonna let them take the gamble on Acuff here.
I like getting him off my board. I think Acuff is an insane shot maker, but it's really, if you're going to be that high, you have to be Jalen Brunson to succeed today. I do not believe that he is.
Yeah, you definitely have to build around him perfect, and maybe it's more of a Trae Young situation when you figure out, hey, he's not your number one guy, but if you got the right Batman in there, he's a great Robin. You can build a team that makes up for defensive deficiencies. And
I can see it. It's
have
just
someone who takes pressure off of him, but I mean, he knows how to run an offense, no doubt.
He does. And in the later lottery, I'm a lot more accepting of him because the teams, aside from Milwaukee, the teams that you get down to are more prepared to insulate him. The Sacramento, you're starting your rebuild. You want versatility. You want that slap whenever you're thinking of like the blanket year of your rebuild. I struggle with Acuff.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as high on him as draft boards have been mainly this whole year, but I definitely think there's talent and potential to be tapped into there. It just kind of matters on what you do from here and how you pivot and just putting the correct infrastructure around him to succeed. I definitely think there's an avenue for it, but also it's a team that just needs talent right now.
And I would say we're getting out of the realm of that was our 25% that is probably completely predictive.
Yeah.
I think that's how the top 7 is going to shake. Atlanta, I'm between Flemings and Phylon. I'm a big Phylon fan. I think that he's shown enough of himself over the 2-year career span. I think the sophomore year really helped to show that he could be a primary on offense. His best role is definitely going to be toggling between the 2 years that he's shown at Alabama to get back some of that defense and just the playmaking numbers that he got on the defensive end his freshman year. If he can sustain more of that while having the offensive role that he's had or something similar, I think that's an insane player. But I think that I am leaning towards Flemings a little bit more. He's just he's even more quick and bursty than Phylon, in my opinion. And I think that it seems a little bit easier for him whenever he's shooting the basketball. I like that trait whenever it just looks easy. I think he's going to be able to bounce around and find his spots really easily and fit into a defense that is hopefully going to be very, very good for Atlanta this year.
Yeah, I definitely think either's a worthy pick. Flemings feels a little more safe than Phylon, I guess, just in terms of what he showed in true steadiness as a true freshman at Houston. And I mean, he was surrounded by veteran senior and fifth year guards that would defer to him in late game moments just because he had that poise in such a young age. You could really see how they believed in him. I mean, beautiful defensive system there. He fit in it perfectly. He's got real on-ball defending juice, where I see Phylon more as a disruptor and kind of off-ball defensive playmaker.
Phylon's one of the guys you're good whenever he's on the ball. You prefer it whenever he's in the help at nail, or at the nail and help probably. Just trying to see what kind of passes he can get his fingertips on.
Yeah, but definitely like either pick there. They're just in need of, hey, we got to find a real point guard who can kind of help Jalen Johnson run the show.
Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful pick. And then, I mean, that even leaves now with Dallas at 9.
Are you going for him?
Yeah, I think I'm going to grab Phylon here. It's between him and Burries. I think they just need a little more long-term guard help in that backcourt. I mean, depending on what you do with Kyrie, I feel like trades are about to get a little odd with this new lottery system. I think kind of this year it's going to be testing the waters. Try not to trade our picks because we really don't know how to value them. Teams will be weird about certain picks because they don't know how to value them, and that makes me think there's a less of a chance of Kyrie getting moved unless Dallas is okay taking a more akin to a Trae Young or projected John Morant package than what's typical for an all-star guard, even though he doesn't have some of the limitations of them.
I think you get a better package for Kyrie this upcoming season than you do for John.
Yeah, I still think it would be a little better, but I don't think it'll be what Dallas really wants out of it either way. But even if they don't move off of him right now or do, I think Phylon can play with him off the court. I mean, he can even learn from him some because he's definitely much more of a craft kind of guy.
Yeah.
Very, very slithery, very, very crafty around the rim. A lot of really good touch. He made some really tough finishes through contact without really absorbing it. He's really good at getting his frame around the body of others. Obviously, like we said, especially freshman year at Bama, when he wasn't necessarily running the show, there was so much off-ball defensive playmaking shown, and then once he really got the keys to the offense, it was like, all right, now we put him in a role with more talented people who can take pressure off of him. We can make a really good two-way combo guard here.
It's also just so exciting. The transition play that they're going to get from him and Flag, they're going to be very fast up and down the court, ideally. And him and Flag and Lively, it's a bunch of exciting pick and roll pairings that you can go to.
And
I guess we'll get to see how much they lean on him as a primary ball handler.
Then your hope is you can kind of get back into some of that low post action Lively showed a lot of when Luka was around. I mean, he's had a couple of rough seasons in terms of missing games. I don't think he's really been able to get into his flow or rhythm. Teams changed a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that gives you a lot of supplementary playmaking in many spots. You can build a nice offense that even when it breaks down, because we've got plenty of young guys, they still know what to do.
If they did go, I suppose if the board shook to where they got Phylon, I would be very interested to see how him and Kyrie could play together. It'd obviously be a small backcourt, but I mean, with Cooper Flag at the 3, you're not feeling bad about your defense.
Yeah, you've got two
bigs.
You
still have size.
Yeah, you got two bigs, can hold it down. For the time being, PJ Washington's there. Najee's not an awful defender. Christie's an okay defender. It's not. You're not going to be
Christie on the ball a lot.
Yeah, you're not going to be a bottom defender. 7 or 8 defense.
No, you're not going to be worried with that.
You want to reach that like high middle of the pack, somewhere around 18th, 17th in the league, and you feel great about that, especially for what you have already.
So now we're getting into the first of Milwaukee's 2 picks
Giannis
in this back part of the league.
10. I mean, this definitely changes the pick a lot in people's minds, I feel like, because now it's, hey, we're not even worried about maybe trying to draft a fit guy making this work. We just need talent. We need guys who can become something. Yeah,
because before the Giannis trade, I would have taken Yaxel Lindenberg with this pick.
Oh, yeah.
100 times out of 100. I think he's the most ready-made wing to produce next year in the NBA. Not in terms of just volume of production, but in terms of fitting into pretty much any team scheme, he's going to be able to do it. And I would feel confident in him filling a starting role next year in the league. But we don't have Giannis. And like we talked about whenever we were overviewing the trade, we're fine being just mediocre. We want to be like the 7th worst team in the league. And I think that happens by taking Ade Mara at 10, and then if you're not moving Miles Turner, bench him. Youth movement, baby. Front office is transitioning into a new era. Miles, we were really happy that you came and tried to play for us, you know. It didn't look how we wanted it to, and we're moving on.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if you want to take the route of either this offseason or most likely at this deadline, moving off of him to someone who's just, hey, we need some more front court help, definitely makes it easier. Obviously, netting Khalil Ware, who can play that 4 or the 5 alongside Mara.
Yeah. I think Mara is just obviously an absolute giant of a human being. He has great playmaking chops, so he's not going to slow down the offense. And, you know, you're not worried about just – you didn't get a rim running big. You've got somebody who can be an integral part of an offensive system. And obviously on defense, he's going to get treated like Rudy Gobert. Your scheme is going to be to funnel people into him just because he's that big and that good at being in a help position that's advantageous. You know, he's not caught out of the play very often. He's always paying attention. And I just think the floor right here might be just as high as anybody not named Cameron Boozer.
Yeah.
Or Darren Peterson.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I mean, not that he necessarily moves like Wemby or one of those guys, but, you know, even at the combine and especially some in that national championship run, you could definitely see, oh, this guy moves better than we thought. He's a little bit more fluid than we thought. So there's small chances you can send him out on the perimeter sometimes, and he can hold his own in some switches and blender actions that might mess up some other bigs of that frame.
Yeah, he's going to be able to move around on the perimeter as much as you want him to.
Yeah, he's definitely got a little more of that than like a Klingon or an Edie. Shot wasn't awful. Don't know how much of his game is ever going to really be based around that, but there are signs it could be something. But even if it never really comes around, you do now have Khalil Ware there, who has definitely shown the ability to shoot at some.
Yeah, Khalil Ware, he's a shooter in teams' minds, I would feel like. And Mara, that's not really the role that I'm investing in for him at the 10th pick, you know? It's just, if he can have an Onyeka Okongwu-like shooting trajectory, you've just got an all-star at the 10th pick.
Yeah, you're really...
If not, though, you've got one of the 10, 15 best centers in the league for the next however long you can re-sign him. That's what I feel like it is going to be. And I like that player a lot. I would be very happy, especially getting it at 10.
Yeah, that is insane value for 10, but even floor-wise, can't be mad at him there, especially with the new direction the team's taking.
Not at all.
I mean, 11, one of my other dream fits here, Yaxel to the Warriors. I mean, you want to make this one more push with Steph. This kind of seems like it was written to happen, kind of like the Caleb Wilson one. It's been getting mocked so much.
I was just about to say, this might be like the third easiest pick of the draft, behind whoever Memphis goes with and then Chicago getting Caleb Wilson. This is probably the next simplest decision that a front office will have to make.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the growth when he was at just UAB in terms of just becoming their true guy. I think before he transferred to Michigan, he was averaging, like 25 and 12 with like 2 blocks a game. It was absolutely absurd there. I mean, much weaker conference, but when you see someone playing at that level above their peers, it still just clearly shows. And then, I mean, at Michigan, obviously his role changed, became a little bit more of a rim runner as opposed to get touches in the paint. Definitely,
and he became a wing.
Yeah, still such a good help side defender. Showed a lot of promise on the perimeter. I mean, they had him picking up people for full court with a frame like that. That's pretty insane. He's going to be strong. He's going to add physicality and size and athleticism, which they're just desperately in need of. Definitely connected
So
passing
badly.
there. Played in a very pro style, heavy ball movement system. Very read and react at Michigan, which I mean is you hope translate directly to the Warrior system. I know a lot of times they've had trouble with young players translating, but he is a little bit older while
I
still being
agree.
young, but he just understands the game. Word around him is there's maturity issues and stuff there, but I mean, there's plenty of real
Draymond's going to
pros.
clean that up so quick.
Yeah, there's plenty of real pros and a lot of people who just know what they're doing in that front office and in that organization.
The Warriors are one of the most professional teams in terms of, like, you still look at the roster and you see guys that win championships for this team. You know, you're not going to go into Steph Curry's locker room and start acting up.
Oh yeah, God no.
He's a perfect bridge of talent and the age that they needed somebody to be, just in terms of frame and like processing. Somebody who's a little bit older and will be able to accept the role because he's been versatile. I think he kind of started playing basketball late, so I am not really weary of the fact that he played at UAB at all, just because every journey is going to look different, and he dominated at UAB. He figured it out very quickly. He was dominant at Michigan. I think it's a perfect pick.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be just complete plug and play, and he's fitting so many needs in small ways, and that's so hard to do for a team that's they're in need of so much, and probably 85-90% of what they're looking for, he's at least providing some of that. Maybe not completely filling those holes, but it's a great start to continuing to try and push for Steph Curry's last championship.
Duct tape's a hell of a tool, and Yaxel Lindenberg is the longest roll of Gorilla duct tape that you could ever get. I think OKC at 12, I do not anticipate them having both of these draft picks or making both of these selections for themselves, I suppose, is rather the term. But if I'm Oklahoma City and I am keeping the 12th pick, which with the position, I think I would keep the 12th pick and I would draft Perez Johnson onto my basketball team at 12. I think he fills a lot of the physicality that Isaiah Hartenstein offers them, but nobody else aside from Lou Dort does.
Yeah.
I think Dort's going to be on the move for money reasons. I think Caruso might be, and that's pretty much all of your backup 4 minutes right there. They got played this season.
Yeah.
You're not in love with Kenrich Williams. You got rid of dang, I forgot his name, but you just traded your guy to Atlanta.
Wiggins, yeah.
Yeah. It's just looking at it, they don't need a guard. They have 4 guys that they feel comfortable playing the shooting guard, backup point guard minutes. As long as J-Dub's healthy, like, there's not really a wing in this range that I would be considering, aside from Cameron Carr. But I think Perez just fills more of the holes that they have, especially as the front court's going to become more expensive.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, obviously they're making money-saving moves currently. I mean, the Wiggins for 2 second-round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, we might see an Isaiah Joe even go, given they have McCain, Mitchell, Topic is still technically there. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but yeah, Kingston Wallace as well.
Big Wallace, baby.
But it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but I mean, I think that's definitely a wonderful pick. Just adding size and physicality, he's going to be as great of a defender as he can be at 6'8", 6'9", but he's got an insane wingspan. He's obviously insanely strong. It's going to be a perfect compliment to have beside Chet, even if you do bring iHeart back. There's nothing wrong with it.
And he's still going to be able to play with iHeart. That's the thing, too. Yeah. Like, iHeart is an amazing interior passer. He finds Chet on these lobs all the time, and Perez is going to be able to fill that same play type, at least in the interior. Obviously, teams aren't going to be scared of him from 3, but if you're only playing him with iHeart maybe 8 minutes a game and then he's getting minutes with Chet, you have the inverted roles of, your traditional center height versus Merez is really going to be filling all of the center needs.
Yeah.
Whenever they're on the court together, I just think it makes sense. His height's going to be blanketed, and OKC really stresses being able to cover ground horizontally, and he fits into that schematic and that system very well. So now you have the other Bucks pick on the board. Are you taking their most mock player, Nate Amendment?
Thinking about it, I got a couple of names in mind. I mean, just because now it's, hey, we got a completely different approach to picking in this draft.
You want to toss a few out and have conversations about it, or you want to make a pick and then let me know what you're thinking about?
Yeah, I'll probably toss the names out. I mean, I think you want to try and go wing as best as you can here, a wing forward, just because that room's starting to look a little even more thinned out. And then you've got people at other positions now that you really want to focus on developing, and I think also taking a wing you'd like to try and get into a good role is very important here. Just kind of fill out gaps in the roster. I mean, a Mint could be a worthy swing given all the other stuff they have right now. It's like, hey, we have other young assets if he doesn't really reach anything potential wise. But I mean, even like a Kareem Lopez wouldn't be awful here. Just solid at everything. There's room to grow in a couple of those areas, and he looks like a really, really good role player if he stays solid at everything, and then, in two of those attributes he kind of develops a little more.
So do you think that if I'm Milwaukee, I'm kind of taking a swing here. I think Ament is also a worthy swing, just with the way he moves and the way he projects to shoot. I'm really scared because he didn't make many shots in college.
Yeah.
But also, he was extremely overtasked on a Tennessee team where he was running, he was upwards usage rate of 30. He will never scratch that in the National Basketball Association. And that will make a lot of the glaring holes, it'll kind of cover him up some.
Yeah, I think Amit's going to be the pick here. I mean, he doesn't have to ask. He's not asked to be doing too much immediately. We saw some tough shot making potential at the end of shot clocks at Tennessee. Some impressive shots. Obviously, he's got the long frame. It's going to be easy for him to get over contests. And I think that even though they did get rid of Giannis, there's still plenty there to where he can mainly be almost entirely off ball for the first few years and just, hey, let's get you going, teach you how to get easy looks in the league, and then we'll get into how much better of a shot creator can you be.
Yeah, the guard room doesn't have that absolute utmost talent now, but completely rock solid, your starters and your backups. I feel like you have 4 competent ball handlers that aren't going to be making just egregious mistakes at any time.
Yeah, Tyler.
I like the athleticism. I like the length. I don't love the production. But I can understand the native net interest, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, it's just he's that physical mold of the most valuable, third, fourth option in the league. Yeah.
That is true. The most valuable frame he has right up in that fit. Another person, an amazing frame. This is the most fun pick of the draft for me.
I know where you're going.
Sanak Jr. Yeah. I feel like I've been talking about it in every single conversation I've had about the draft. I would consider Sanak all the way up at like 10. Nah, I'm lying. I wouldn't take him over Morrow. But I'd consider him at 12 for OKC. He just offers more of a similar role to what Chet already gives you. And Chet's on a max contract, so you kind of don't draft a redundant skill set. I think for Charlotte, his shooting and size and movement is going to be absolutely amazing. He's still going to be able to get up and down the floor with all of the guys that they've got. He'll give them more size than Bridges can offer in the front court. It's just Miles is great, but Miles is great on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Chris Sinak Jr. is going to just be a lot more stereotypical down there. He makes the defense make more sense. And I also think he'll be a lot better of a primary and help side rim protector than what he got to show off at college whenever he was playing more on the wing and more perimeter defense. He's going to be able to make the rotations in time. And I think that they don't need him to be good this year, but they probably do within the next 2-3 years. And I think he can do that. I really believe in the shot as well.
Yeah, I mean, just very valuable archetype of player that versatile, can play in almost any front court type of combo big. Not, like you said, I mean, not worried about the rim defense numbers. That's literally what they had Joseph Tugler for. But, I mean, the kid wants to be a great defender. He's got the tools. He said at the Combine he wanted to go to Houston to play in that system and just improve as an overall defender before he tried to go pro, which I think just says a lot. Obviously, I mean, the shooting mechanics look fluid. You're going to put a little bit more strength and size on his frame throughout his career. And, yeah, he's just one of those dynamic players that'll really fit well in that system the Hornets kind of have going over there. Really do love that pick.
Standout selection that I think would be perfect for Chicago at 15, and I'm wondering if you're going to go that same direction.
I mean, I think I know who yours is. It's between two names for me, Quaintance and Carr. Because, I mean, either fit that mold of player they want.
Mix.
Huh.
Quaintance is in the mix. I like that. I love Jaden Quaintance. I think he's going to be very good. I'm just also scared of the Wiseman situation.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like that risk outside of the lottery is pretty much non-existent. It's at best a 50-50 chance if you even get a rotation player out here at this point in the draft, just historically. And I think Quaintance is an insane talent swing, one that Chicago is in a position to take.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little less scary than Wiseman just because you were projecting and wanting him to have such a two-way role and to be a franchise cornerstone, where I feel like with Quaintance, you're more like, hey, if he's playing, he's very strong and athletic. He's going to bring it rim protection-wise. He's going to grab rebounds. And even then, if he just hits that, you're like, that's a wonderful 15th pick, and it's cool if he can do a little more offensively. There was a little bit of low post hub passing and stuff in there, not enough for you to be like, oh yeah, he's going to be an integral part of the offense, but he showed that he can make some reads when need be.
And he's a ferocious rim finisher too.
Yeah, he wants to tear the rim off the backboard.
I like that excitement aspect for Chicago fans. Yeah. I think they're going to have a lot of those moments where they're just kind of gasping in awe of what some of these guys are able to do on their team.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting for them. But yeah, I think I'm locking in the Quaintance pick here. I mean, he's another guy who just personifies that slap motto. You think of some of the really cool defense and just shot blocking highlights between him, Modest, and Caleb Wilson. There's going to be some times when it's just really hard to get to the rim and score on that team if everything works out. But I think, health permitting, his floor is just, hey, him alongside Caleb Wilson is just holding down a phenomenal defense at some point. Especially you work on that just perimeter aspect just a little. Definitely think that could work out well for Chicago. And I mean, they're in a spot to take swings right now.
And they're also in a spot to not play him this first year.
I mean, yeah,
if he ends up having like the Embiid, you're out the whole year as a rookie, they'd be fine with that.
Yeah, he can definitely wait in the wings right now.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be vying for a playoff spot most likely. So it's look, we've got Nick Claxton. We want you to clean up a little bit more of the ball handling stuff and just rest your body, man. Take 3 months and then come join us. I think Memphis at 16. Cameron Carr is my best player on the board. I would be considering him in the lottery. I think that his translation is going to be very, very smooth. But I also feel the same way about Braden Berries, and I feel like he gives you more on-the-ball juice for a Memphis team that is already wing heavy, more so than guard heavy. I think I go Berries at 16 over Carr.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think there is a little more on-ball juice there. I don't know how much that'll be seen, but he also did play with some other great older ball handlers in the Arizona system, like Jaden Bradley, a few other senior, junior guys that they definitely wanted to handle the ball just for experience reasons. But
his plate was not at all packed as full as it could have been.
Oh no!
But I think it's the same solution that we mentioned with Boozer in Memphis. The offensive infrastructure and system that they have in place makes it where a primary pick and roll ball handler is not a necessity for their team at all.
Oh yeah. And I mean,
he just adds into the supplementary playmaking.
Definitely more on the ball defensive juice than Carr, who's more of that off the ball playmaker. But Barry's 6'4" with a nice strong frame already. Definitely gonna be able to hold his own on some bigger guards and somewhat smaller wings off rip, and then you add some more polish to it. Off ball 3-point shooting was amazing. Catch and shoot numbers look fantastic. There's some playmaking there, obviously enough to where you're happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's definitely, I mean, you have Boozer there too. Definitely could be a really good egalitarian system they're building. But yeah, I like that pick a lot.
He seems like such a surefire, decent NBA guard for like 12 years.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I like that pick a lot. So now it's 17. OKC back up on the board. I mean, obviously this probably isn't their pick, but we're kind of getting into, hey, what role can this guy fill for us Central? And I mean, they obviously got, who did we give them at 12? Merez Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, you can add another really good wing here that can go ahead and play and give you a lot of interesting stuff in Dalen Swain. You could have another just big body combo forward, kind of waiting in the wings to develop, who maybe could be like we said there last night, your Kenrich Williams kind of replacement, and Kareem Lopez. I mean, they're still in Allen Graves here. Cam Carr would not be bad for them, especially with the movement shooting.
Not at all.
This is tough. I mean, they could just continue to fill out the front court and say, hey, we can just get off iHeart's money now. They could go Steinbeck, but I don't love that.
Yeah, I think that's my least favorite of the ideas you've mentioned. Just because it's been so good for them.
Yeah.
I like the Swain idea. I like the Lopez idea. I guess really that one depends on who do you believe more in as a shooter. Because that's what OKC is going to need out of their role players. Somebody who can just hit some corner, low wing threes. Like, yeah, they got really stuck in the mud this postseason. But granted, that was because they had injuries.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I project Swain shooting. One of my pro comps for him is kind of like a Najee Marshall. I'll be able to put on the floor some.
Yeah.
I think he's a better defender immediately. He's definitely got a little bit of that shorter mid-range to his game.
A great closeout attacker if he can draw the closeouts.
Yeah, that's the only problem is getting them. Yeah, I think we're going to go with Kareem Lopez here at 17. I mean, I think if you need him to play day one, I think he'll be able to play a small role. Obviously, like we said, he's just a kid he's solid at everything. He's been playing in a pretty good pro system that we've seen plenty of people get drafted out of and play well. Yeah. He's going to understand a little bit more of read and react basketball. He's got a nice frame, 6'9", He's got a pretty decent amount of mass on him too. So
yeah, he's solid. You're not going to be mad at 15 minutes of Kareem Lopez, no matter what front office you are.
Yeah, no.
And I think, especially OKC, since they've got the top end talent.
Yeah,
this is definitely what they would kind of be looking for.
He does not have to play right now, and you're fine with that. But if he can, you're also fine with that. Yeah, I think that's a decent fit pick for them.
Now, Carr has slipped a few picks from where I would have taken him, and I think we definitely go for him right here for the Charlotte Hornets at 18. Even more movement shooting, even more length. You're keeping up with the fact that all of your main guards are 6'4", 6'5" plus. You're keeping they have a lot of versatility in their guard room. I would still consider Brandon Miller. I know he starts at the 3, but he's part of the guard room.
Yeah.
Him and Connor kind of can flip between that pretty easily. I think Cameron Carr would also be able to play that 2 or 3, whatever wing role you need. The shooting's just going to add to everything Charlotte's looking to do. He's able to run in transition. He's an athlete. You can still throw him lobs. You're not handicapped in the athleticism department at all. I think Cameron Carr has a very easy translation, and I think playing next to such talented playmakers and then smart auxiliary playmakers is going to open up so much for him early on and make his transition even easier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely think he fits perfectly into just that dynamic offense they have going. Obviously, the catch-and-shoot movement shooting numbers were absolutely insane. Definitely has that vertical pop and some good speed that'll definitely help them run in transition. Don't think they could really make a bad pick here. There's a few guys that would help them out a lot, but yeah, I definitely like that. Definitely like that pick for them.
Thank you. Toronto, you have a fun cluster of guards to still be choosing from, which is not always the case once you get around 20. But I think that they have a few avenues that would be right for them.
Yeah,
interested to see which one you go.
Yeah, I mean, judging off their previous draft experience, there's a couple of guys here I think they would go for over a guard, weirdly enough, in a predictive mock, just because of how they like to draft. But I guess Ujiri's not even there anymore, so they might kind of switch up their mold. But I think this is a pretty easy pick here. I'm going to go Christian Anderson. I mean, he was an absolute lights-out shooter, showed he can play on or off ball. He's got decent length for his size, not an awful frame, pretty good athlete. Good playmaking numbers too, just really solid guard, held it down for Texas Tech. Yeah, I think
I agree with that selection. It's the other players I would be considering are Sturts and Okori. They need some penetration juice. They need some ball handling still. Christian Anderson is just the best off-ball shooter.
Yeah, that was my main draw with the selection between those 3.
Toronto's just not. They're not running an insane amount of pick and rolls. They have a very egalitarian system where they're just kind of flipping the ball around a lot, more handoffs than pick and rolls. So that kind of dampens Bennett Sturt's abilities and talent in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely looking at him as a mainly pick and roll operator, especially with his pull-up 3 in the pick and roll. That's going to be, I think, his main calling card.
I think Okori is a similar case. He's going to be primarily a pick and roll handler. He's obviously a lot quicker than the other guys. He's an insane bursty dude, and he's so creative. But it's just the off-ball shooting is going to be so valuable for a Toronto team that kind of doesn't have amazing spacing, and they also run plenty of offense through bigger forward guys. Scotty Barnes is also obviously their guy. We've also got Brandon Ingram, who's going to be having the ball a lot.
Yeah, he's going to get a certain amount of touches. RJ Barrett's still there. Quickly still going to be doing a lot of bringing the ball up the court.
Yeah. It just makes sense to have him be able to toggle so easily into a spot-up role.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different avenues for him to take in terms of his development there, but I really do love that pick for them.
I think for San Antonio, my biggest goal is getting larger around Wembanyama. I'm a big Keldon Johnson believer, big lover of him, but also he is a 6'5" power forward.
Yeah.
And that can only take you so far. That's as the sixth man, I feel like that's a very ideal role for him. But I just like to get bigger. And that leads me to be considering Steinbach and Koa Pete. I think Dalen Swain is obviously big for his role, but they've already got plenty of guys that fill those shoes better than he can, or just as well as he can. Obviously he's not replacing Champagne in the rotation or anything like that, so I feel like you don't take him there. Steinbach is so
Alan
interesting.
Graves thoughts?
I know you love it.
I think he's just solid. I think he'll just forever be solid.
Yeah. And in the 20s, whenever you're San Antonio, you just got Dylan Harper. Like, you've drafted superstars the past few years.
Yeah.
I do like the Graves thoughts as well. Also be considering Vasard equally as much.
Yeah. Wouldn't hate that. That is actual, really true size in that front court to go along with Wemby. I mean, not that you'd have to worry about spacing fit because Wemby can just play with any other big.
Yeah, but Vasar just, the only thing is, if you're playing them together, who's guarding the Keldon Johnsons?
Yeah.
No, that's not what you want Wemby to be doing, and it's not something that you're going to be comfortable with Vasar doing. You want Wemby to be at the rim. I do think I'll go Alan Graves. He's a great player. He's not the most exciting pick, if you can tell in my tone, but he's good. He fills all the holes. Absolutely amazing analytically, and he has gorgeous hands. They're some of the most accurate hands that I've seen coming out of the draft. I think that defensive disruption will just add to everything San Antonio is trying to do. They try and play really fast and in transition with all the athletic guards that they have. And then Wemby being able to be such a dangerous trail, whether it's shooting the threes or coming in and cleaning up whatever attempts are taken at the rim. Alan Graves is going to be able to jumpstart probably 5 more of those possessions a game. And I do like that a lot for them as a team.
Yeah, I mean, you love a guy that can just come in, get things done. While there might not be huge athleticism there or anything that would really excite you. I mean, he's just, like we said, analytically, everything was just good, solid. He did everything at an above average rate at least. And I mean, in a team that was just fighting in the finals and has probably 10 more years of true competitiveness, he's a beautiful player to get with a 20th pick.
I agree. It's also, he just had so many stocks, and he didn't even start. Like, his actual per game numbers, not per 40. Like, his per game stocks are high.
Yeah.
And then it doubles whenever you go to per 40.
Yeah.
I think you have a pretty simple selection right here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, my dream fit here is Cam Carr for Detroit. I think that would be absolutely insane for them, but
that would fill a lot of problems for them.
I think my pick is going to be Sturts here.
I agree with that selection.
I mean, they'll give you extra pick and roll juice. Another guard who has decent enough size to play with a K, to play with a Dennis Jenkins, play with a Marcus Sasser in times. Obviously, great pick and roll ball handler and operator. Did it at multiple levels throughout his career and just continued to rise up. JUCO, D2, or NAIA, D2. Then they got to, Drake, and then moved over to Iowa with the coach. I mean, he showed it at the highest level and lowest levels of competition. That pull-up jumper out of the pick and roll is beautiful. I think in the league, especially with someone like a Cade, you see the off-ball numbers, one, go up in terms of volume, but just as he's more of an off-ball rhythm and not really having to run the show, I think those percentages go up even higher, and they're already not bad at all.
Because the percentages aren't the problem. It's just the sheer volume. I don't think he had 30 catch-and-shoot attempts this past season.
Yeah, he just had to always be touching the ball. But I think
they ran so much through him.
And I mean, there'll still be plenty of pick and roll opportunity. For right now, you still have two amazing screen setters and very strong bigs, and Duran and Isaiah Stewart.
Detroit's a pick and roll heavy team just because of Cade, and I think that is gonna. You have one stall out, you just flip it to Sturts on the other side, and then run an empty side pick and roll and see what happens. Like, Asar is also a great screener. There's going to be plenty of options whenever it's Asar's in like the dunker spot or the corner. Sturts is catching it on that off wing after Cade attempts an action and doesn't love what he sees. And you have a lot of exciting stuff right there. I would also be considering a Corey, but I think it's the same reason we took Christian Anderson earlier than we took Sturts. The off-ball shooting. But Corey's amazing on ball, but his numbers are so skewed to pull-ups. And I think it's the form.
Yeah, I definitely think his ideal role is just straight up your bench ball handler, which I think a few teams a little later down this draft are really going to be looking for, and then he'll just be a really good home run perfect fit and steal for them.
I agree. And for Philly, we're looking for a role-playing forward. Steinbach's been falling, but if you like Embiid, he doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bring him behind Embiid. It's not like Andre Drummond is going to give me hesitancy to drafting anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are still avenues for him to play with other bigs too. Definitely spot minutes more of a main lineup thing, but I don't think he's completely inept of playing with a more traditional low post center big at all.
This is a spot I'm strongly considering Visar, who I think he's less talented than Steinbach, but in all honesty, I prefer just because of the role that he's able to fill. We've seen it be successful and important for so many good teams. And he's not bad at all on defense. Like, normally if you're going to shooting slanted big, you're going to be giving up something, rebounding or rim deterrence, and he doesn't give up either of those.
Yeah, he's not necessarily the most insane rim protector, but I mean, he's got a good frame, could stand to add some weight to it, but he understands rotations, he knows where to be, and that's really all you can ask for. There's a defensive floor already with just understanding really how to play pro level defense, because it's much more game plan than necessarily just picking up someone one on one and just guarding them.
Also, just have Koa Pete in the back of my mind. Barlow was fine for him this year. Do you love that going forward? Probably not.
No, not really. I mean,
are you able to sign somebody better than him or Kelly Oubre in free agency?
Most
probably not.
I mean, there is still a Joshua Jefferson left on the board too. That's not a.
There is, and they're trying to be good now.
Yeah, I mean, I think he plays immediately, and it's kind of the Allen Graves situation. He's going to hold it down. Probably not much more than that, but
I think I'm going Kobe Pete. He's more athletic. He's a bigger body. I think that he's going to be able to keep up with some of the faster-footed centers still. The same thing that we were mentioning with, who was it, being able to guard Cat whenever. What was it? I don't even remember which conversation we were having right there.
That was. Yeah, I can't remember either.
But I think that I'm going Kobe Pete because he'll be able to pick up on defense. I'm not going to be too worried about him guarding any forward because he's just a huge dude. He's going to add value on the glass and in transition automatically. And with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, you're going to be seeing transition plays a lot. I think he'll be able to keep up with the two of them and add a very dynamic piece to that element of their offense. In the half court, it looks a lot uglier, but also you have Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. You're not worried about your 22nd pick adding a lot of value to your half court offense at all.
Yeah. Definitely think that's a good pick for them. Just he's strong, he's physical. There's still plenty of polish, and there's still plenty of stuff he can stand to add to his game before he's truly a productive player. But there's measurables there that give you at least something to look forward to.
There is, and I feel I have a above mild outlook on what his corner shooting is going to become. I think the mid-range was really interesting. Very mixed bag, but the shot doesn't look terrible, in my opinion. I think he's going to be able to get it workable, and especially with just the shooting prowess that they have already on their team, he's going to be able to iron out some of the kinks without even having an amazing shooting coach. His teammates are just going to help him.
Definitely think that's a low pressure spot for him to land.
I agree, and I think that'll be good. So, for Atlanta, they've already got Flemings. Who are you trying to round out this first round with for them?
See, I don't hate Visar here. That kind of wound up being my original pick, but also Steinbach did not fall this far. And the front court just does need some depth. He's not. Neither of them are necessarily the exact mold of center you want. With Double O's shooting jump we saw this season, I think you can sacrifice that in the prospect more than some of those more dirty work, traditional big man things you're kind of looking for. Steinbach's not necessarily going to be the greatest defender, more of like a Sabonis level. Just I'm not protecting the rim, but you're not necessarily getting to it either. Yeah. I mean, he's got a massive frame, super strong, absolutely phenomenal rebounder. Yeah,
good basketball player.
Yeah, there's some low post playmaking chops to it too, like some of the other bigs. He understands basketball. Wish we could have seen him in a different style of offense. I didn't really like Washington's style of offense. They did what Georgia did with Asa Newell, with the playing two centers, doing the mirror actions, and I feel like that's just such a limiting style of play. But he made it work and put up some phenomenal numbers through it. So yeah, I think it's going to be Steinbach here. That's a huge fall.
It is, because last night, whenever we did our little test run of everything, we had Steinbach at 14 to Charlotte, but that was only because Nate Ament ended up falling into the mid-20s.
Yeah.
I was talking you out of it, and I wasn't taking him anywhere. Now,
the defending champion.
Besar is still available. I hesitate none. I think Besar would have been my pick at 23. I am very happy to take him at 24. We've talked about him plenty, so I don't feel like explaining very much. But Mitchell Robinson, you're not sure if you're going to be able to re-sign him. Cat, already a great shooter, not a great rim protector. So you add another guy that is a good rim protector, and he's a good shooter. It's just going to make Jalen Brunson's life quite a bit simpler whenever everybody has to be guarded on the perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, definitely fits what they have going on over there.
You just open up even more doors to the rim for a guy who just led the finals in rim points or points in the paint. Like,
can't be mad at that at all.
I think it's simple. Los Angeles Lakers. This is a much more complicated pick.
Yeah, could could take a reach here on some size. It feels a little weird, but like a Luigi Swigo, the massive Serbian dude.
That could be definitely interesting.
They think can shoot. I mean, I don't think it's a crazy reach just because he's 7'3" and they say he can shoot. But also, it's like you are trying.
You're not loving these Jackson Hayes minutes?
Don't hate him, but I mean, hopefully, you're not bringing Ayton back.
That's true.
I just don't think Swigo would be ready to play at all. I think it'd be more like a 3 to 4 year thing. And it's like, oh yeah, he's cool now. I think Joshua Jefferson could definitely be a good pick for them here. Not necessarily the center you want, but he's a bigger body, can play either one of those front court positions. I think sometimes could play a 3 if you were looking to just put a big lineup out there. But I mean, I definitely think he's going to be a great complementary piece to Luka and AR if they went with him here. Good connective playmaker, defends at a pretty good level, shot the 3 ball well this year, had a decent mid-range pull-up off of closeouts.
It's going to be pretty similar to having 42-year-old LeBron play the 4.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you some. Yeah, I think that's going to be the pick here. I think that gives them just some solid, decent front court forward play because, I mean, you're hoping to make a move with some of the money you have wrapped up in those like forward positions in Vanderbilt, and they're just not really playable at this point.
No, you don't have a lot of inspiring options. Also, for anybody who might be listening an hour and a half into this, I'm not saying that Joshua Jefferson is LeBron. That was not what that comment meant.
No, that's exactly what we meant.
So, Denver at 26. I think that we have on-ball creation juice on the board and an immense talent in Abuko Corey that is sitting right here for me to take. I think Nikola Jokic is going to love getting to watch him run up and down the court while Jokic is sitting on the bench. He's going to love to watch it.
Yeah, there'd definitely be a really good insertion of just some pace and athleticism. I mean, they've built an offense around playing very slow, just getting everyone into their spots, getting good looks.
And it's also just, I'm imagining the scenario of instead of the full court outlet pass or like 3/4, Jokic doesn't like the option he sees headed towards the other rim, so he just pushes it to half court, and Abuka Corey's already got like a jog of steam in him. He's geared up, then he gets to catch the ball and start moving. He's at full speed automatically pretty much, and that's just going to be such a pressure on defenses to be worried about in transition. Because more so than transition, it's probably going to be that semi-transition that really gets cracked open whenever you add him into the mix of what that team looks like. And I think it'd just be a much-needed injection of ball handling.
Yeah, most definitely so. And it's always nice to have a different look. Like I said, he's just going to play faster. Despite his size, I mean, he's got a really good wingspan differential, which just helps when you're a smaller guard. I mean, more length is more length.
He's the same size as Tyrese Maxey, and we've seen Tyrese Maxey
make it work,
blossom into, a star. Borderline superstar in the coming years, I'm hoping. I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan. It kind of made me want to take a Corey a lot higher, but I have more question marks about a Corey shooting translation. The numbers were just as good as Maxey coming out of college, but it doesn't look anywhere near the same. And I'm just not sure if he's going to be able to get it off as quick and as deep with consistency like Maxey has been trending towards.
Definitely think that's a great pick for them, though. 27 to Boston. I think with how it's shaken out, I would have rather tried to fill out their backcourt a little more in terms of ball handling. But, I mean, I think this is just as good as an option with Isaiah Evans. I mean, he's going to play a winning style of basketball. We know how much they like to shoot the ball. He's going to get up 3-point shots. You don't have to ask him to do much else. Hold it down on the perimeter defensively. And then, I mean, you've just got a really good role-playing wing. This
agree.
allows you to look forward a little more. Hey, we have some other holes to fill in. A Sam Hauser can go now.
Part of me wonders if they wouldn't be willing to take a swing on Dalen Swain right now.
Oh my God, Swain is still on the board.
I think the Lakers might have been considering it too, but with the point in their roster, like the age of their main guys, Luka primarily, they're going to be looking for somebody who can offer a more complementary role and fill in some holes while still being able to shoot.
Yeah.
So Dalen Swain wouldn't really be the option there, in my opinion. But I think whenever you're getting into like the talent level between him and Isaiah Evans and just the pop that he has as a ball handler, choosing the shooting prospect versus the driving prospect is an interesting thing to be looking at for Boston.
Yeah, definitely
I will say.
so.
So if you're going Isaiah Evans at 27, I'm definitely taking Swain for Brooklyn at 28.
Oh yeah, they do have that pick now. That is true.
They do. They just got it. But they're my King Julius Randle.
I was hoping he'd fall to Cleveland. That would have been beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm not letting it happen. Swain is a definitely top 20 talent, but he has some big question marks, and he has question marks for a lot of teams down here that don't really care to find the answer.
Yeah. I mean, I think his stock and appeal is definitely based a lot on fit.
Yeah.
You only want to put him in certain situations, but I mean, Brooklyn's going to need some rim pressure. He's a cool dude to have. He's gonna defend the ball some. Hopefully, the 3-point shot truly comes around. But I mean, even then, he had the mid-range creation. I mean, he got to the rim, put it on people's heads plenty of times. Good, just actual finisher, as opposed to dunking as well.
And I would have considered him at 15 for Chicago, 17 for OKC, and 18 for Charlotte. I also think Atlanta at 23 would be a perfectly cool place to draft him. We've had other options that we've been going with, and now all the way at 28, Dalen Swain is somebody who I would be very comfortable and confident taking. Now, which direction are you going to force me to go at 30?
See, I don't know, because, I mean, Malik Thomas is on the board for Cleveland. So is Amari Allen. I love that fit. I mean, I think that's, if you really want him to be truly successful in the league, it's with a team like that.
I agree.
I mean, Malik Thomas is such an interesting player to have, though, especially if year one, he can kind of just be that disruptive defensive playmaking combo guard that plays randomly between Harden and Mitchell.
I would say, I think it's just the other person I'd be considering here is Braden Smith, just for offensive organization and how much he's proven that he can just be the pick and roll ball handler and everything can be okay and be going well.
Yeah.
If you're taking Malik Thomas, then you're keeping your wings small and you're saying Strus and Merrill, we like you playing the 3. We think you can defend well enough. If you're taking Amari Allen, then you're telling those same 2 guys, hey, we want y'all to be a little bit more of a dribbler and passer. You know, you can't just do spot-up shooting, which neither of them do just spot-up shoot. They have the juice and a little bit of pop as a ball handler, but it's been very specific to the kind of coverage and moments for them. And if you're taking Amari Allen, then you're anticipating for those 2 guys to be able to take on more of a load for your team.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely trade routes they can take too that they might even be already looking into or talking about that would completely change.
Oh, yeah. I think that would benefit them more than selecting at 29. But we're not projecting all that. We're keeping it simple.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Amari Allen. I mean, I think either one of them are a beautiful fit piece. I think you just want a little more size and length, though. I think you're valuing that over maybe the things you're getting from Malik and not Allen. But this team could just stand some more wings. This allows Jalen Tyson to play down at 4 even more.
That's true.
And I think he just plays a nice complementary, solid at everything, Swiss Army knife, small role year 1, and then maybe has a decent jump year 2. But I think
I'm so excited that you believe in them as ball handlers too, because Malik Thomas at 30 is my.
Oh, I know, that's such a beautiful Dallas fit.
Yeah, you
'Cause,
get
I mean, now you got,
Fallon and him. You've pretty much
lanky,
given yourself
crafty.
a backcourt option for the future right there. I love how that looks for him.
Yeah, they'll definitely be able to do some of the same things while also having plenty of complementary skills to go with each other as well.
I agree. They're going to be able to work really well off each other. Both of them are plenty comfortable taking those catch and shoot shots. You obviously give Fallon more of the responsibility to be your ball handler, but you're not going to be grimacing whenever Malik Thomas decides to run a pick and roll.
Yeah, definitely not upset at it at all.
No. All right. Now, how do we close out a podcast? Our very first podcast. If anybody's still here, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, I don't really know.
It's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, I really don't know how we close this out, but I mean, I guess we could later come up with a fun segment.
You said what?
Said I guess we could come up with a fun segment to close everything out.
We can. Who was your favorite fit that you got to draft today?
I mean, it sounds so dumb or so overused at this point, I guess, but just the Axel to Golden State. I can't wait to see the way that looks.
I really hope it happens. I agree with that one. I think my favorite fit, my most fun pick to make was definitely Sinak Jr. at 14 to Charlotte, but I think my favorite pick was Vesar to New York at 24.
Yeah, I've been commonly mocking that.
Yeah, he's going to be in the range, and he just makes a lot of sense, especially with the Mitchell Robinson question mark. Not even him if he can re-sign. The money's one thing. Whenever he does re-sign, how many games are you getting him for? And I feel like 40 games of Henry Vesar playing 25 minutes a game, and then 40 games of him playing 20, maybe 15 minutes a game. Probably more towards 15 to 12. But, you're not going to be upset at that at all.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, weirdly, I do love the Steinbach fall to 23 for Atlanta. I mean, it's for him to have fallen a little farther than I really think he should have.
I think he's going to be an interesting player. It's a good talent selection.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an interesting player, though. There's definitely some infrastructure for him to be able to work there.
I think my least favorite pick that we got into might have just been having to select for OKC at 17, because I feel like there aren't going to be great options there.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the needs, really.
Yeah, I mean.
But that's also, I anticipate them trading out of that pick.
Yeah, I really could see a last-minute trade up at 4 o'clock.
Well, hope is ends. That is the first mock draft from Chance and Gavin right here.
Hopefully plenty more in the future.
Yep. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more streamlined with this so they're not all 2 hours.
Yeah.
But some fun conversations. Wherever this is posted, hope that y'all start some conversations of your own, and we'll get involved in the comments as well. just let us know what y'all want to talk about.
And then any recommendations for next episodes, things y'all want to hear about? I know we've got a kind of like a ideal off-season type of episode coming up where we're going to pick a few teams and make some big splashes or marginal moves just to gear them up for this next season. And hopefully there's some fun trade ideas and discussions in there.
A lot of fan spell hours that we're about to get into, guys. Hope y'all are excited. Hope y'all get excited.
I know I need them to update for the 2026-2027 season. I hate using like Spot Track and ESPN Trade Machine.
Hey, and we'll probably have a complaint about the NBA video coming out as well. See if y'all agree with our dislikes from how it's been run.
I've got plenty of those. But yeah,
all right,
thank you to everyone for listening. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Yep, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.